The world is filled with fluffy, ethereal podcasts about spiritual growth, transformation, and inspiration. Yeah, this isn't one of them. No, Find Your Flow is about what happens when life stops working. So let's get into it. No filters, no scripts, no curated sound bites, no fluff whatsoever, just flow. I'm so excited to have you here with me today, Emily Ahrens. I can't wait to jump into this.
I'm so happy. I love that we already had so much in common, just this little pre-chat, and we're all like, we have to hit record before we keep going because
like we've missed a lot of gold here.
It's good though. It's good. I'm excited that we found this synergy and this resonance, and I love what we're about to talk about. So I'm just so happy to be here.
I mean, so listeners know that I always ask every guest, what does flow mean to you? Let's dig into a time where you were out of flow. How did you find your way back? Because then that lends to beautifully discussing what it is that you do and how you show up in the world today and all of the juicy goodness of your life. Now, listener, what you don't know is that Emily pulled an oracle card for us just before, and this is the whole reason why I was like, we got to hit record. But she pulled this card, and the card is pivot, which is so beautiful. One, because I feel like I'm in a pivot in my life. I feel like the world is pivoting right now. And how awesome that goes with flow. Flow is never a straight line. There are ebbs and flows, right? There are curves. There are multiple pivots in our lifetime. So I love that is our ongoing theme. Now, Emily, I'm going to throw it over to you. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about flow first? Do you want to talk about pivot, for Pete's sake? And my other question is, do you mind cursing? Because that could fly
I would be
out
honored to curse on your podcast.
Oh, yay! That makes things so much easier on my end.
Yeah, let's just let our hair down and just cozy up with some jams and a cozy blanket on our couch and just be.
I have a blanket right here, and I'm getting close to pulling it on my lap.
Great. Well, I wanted to address what you asked about a time where I was out of flow. And I think pivot really ties into this beautifully, which is a few years ago, I was noticing that I just kept pushing and launching and growing and scaling, even when internally I was like, this is a lot for my system. This is a lot for me. I don't think this is sustainable. I'm not really having fun. And frankly, if I'm launching 9+ times a year and my system is totally taxed and overdone and it's in the state of overwhelm and burnout, and I can't people for weeks, I don't think that's a good way of running my company. Now, similarly to you, I started in the brick and mortar space. So I'm used to one-on-one energy healing. I'm used to teaching yoga and movement classes. I'm used to deep transformation and deep energy shifts. And when you start to bring that into an online space, it changes. Yes, I can impact thousands of people at one time, and it's freaking awesome. It's fucking awesome. I'm sorry, you didn't invite me to swear.
I did.
And it's fucking awesome. And there is still a part of me that was and is craving intimacy and depth. Yes. And so on one hand, yes, I was scaling and growing, but it was costing me not just financially, but energetically a lot. And so I was just one time, I just was like, I'm done. I can't keep launching. I want to change my whole business model around. I'm going to move to evergreen. I'm not going to do things the way I've been doing them. And so the last couple of years, instead of growing and scaling the way I was told was this is the goal, is just keep getting bigger, Emily, go bigger and keep getting bigger. Right. For me, I was like, no, I think this is actually, instead of expansive year, I think this is a contraction year. I think I want to contract. And I really, for the last 2 years, to be fully transparent, I've been contracting every single year, letting go of offers, letting go of team members, letting go of clients, letting go of systems, letting go of processes, simplifying and coming back into myself and coming back into what feels good. And through the last couple of years, especially in the last couple of years, working on burnout recovery and healing my system, finding like my nervous system was totally frazzled and I couldn't regulate. And I'd be listening to like coming back to like the OG Esther Hicks and listening to Abraham. And it's like it brings me back home because I've been doing this work for literally 25 years. I've been doing this for more than half of my life at this point. I know in my bones and in my soul that it's not about what I'm trying to do and create. It's my vibration, and I need to shift my vibration, shift my frequency. So I would be shoveling snow, listening to Abraham Hicks. And I was like, I know I'm the problem. The problem is me. And I just need to shift my vibrational frequency. It's like, how can I shrink down, make less money while feeling really good? God, that's a big, big challenge. And at the same time, I'm still a public figure. I'm still somebody on a platform that people look up to that goes, wow, she's the reason why I'm listening to my intuition to grow my business. I'm growing my business because of her teachings. And I'm like, I'm also not growing right now. So I feel like a fraud. I feel like I don't know if I'm worthy of your attention. And I mean, I literally deleted 10,000 email contacts. I cut everything back. Yeah. And it was like all these things that were very ego driven, these big numbers, these big launches, these big email lists. I was just like redefining what success looked like. And as I went back towards my center and coming back to my vibrational frequency, I realized, yeah, those things are definitely like aspects of success. But right now, what success would feel like to me is a quiet morning, peaceful walk with my dogs in nature. Mm-hmm. It would look like evenings cuddled up with my kids reading books. It would taste like my own home-cooked meals. And by the way, I learned how to make sourdough bread. So that's a thing that I do.
You have a jar? You have the...
of course I do. Yeah. Starter. Yeah. All day, baby. And I just got a new one because my old one committed suicide. Long story. But that's part of like finding pleasure practices. I learned how to knit like those like cozy, chunky blankets, like doing things that are just for the sake of doing them to make me feel good, that don't necessarily result in a $5,000 sale up front.
Right.
But they result in healing my nervous system, coming back into flow, coming back into knowing what's right and what's wrong for me, making decisions that feel good, only doing things that light me up, period. And I shifted everything within myself. And then I realized, oh shit, maybe I can actually like teach other people how to do this. And what did I actually do? What are the steps? And so I realized, well, the first one was my energy. I needed to shift my energetic frequency. That was number one. Then I started to really embody those practices. That's definitely number two, starting to embody how, you know, when we think about our life happily ever after, you know, the nice house, the car, the relationship, the health, the vitality, the money in the bank, like all those things that we aspire to, we're aspiring for those things to achieve a feeling. And so if I can start to feel the feeling now and embody that now with some simple practices like the things that I've just mentioned, then I can start to take action in that coherence, in that aligned state, and everything starts to shift and things start to manifest, things start to magnify, gifts start coming in the mail and being dropped off. And like, wow, okay, so like I don't have to work so hard to get a result. And as somebody who's grown up as a latchkey kid, I grew up with like hardcore like abandonment issues and wounds. I also recognized through that healing process that a lot of the things I was doing to become quote unquote successful was me proving I'm worthy of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I don't have to prove I'm worthy of love anymore and my system is rewired and I'm feeling joy and I'm feeling love and I'm feeling abundance, like, wow, it's a whole different way to be and a whole bit different way to be in a business. And I'm rewiring the rules of my business right now, and rewiring, it comes at a cost. It takes time. It doesn't happen.
Yes, it does.
Whew, I just had a big energy shift as I said that.
Let that out, because you're so right to be able to take that pause. It's number one, the hardest fucking thing you're ever going to do. It is harder than building your business. It's literally the hardest thing you can do is
it's
to
so
go,
humbling.
Whoa, I'm going to pause and break it all down to build me back up to then have my life reflect who I am now. I had a friend tell me a number of years ago, I felt like such a fraud. I had this great center for gyrotonic method, and I'm teaching people, I'm training trainers, I'm doing all of the things, and my back went out on me. And and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to show up for this open house. I don't know how I'm going to show up for this training. How can I show up injured if I'm the instructor? And she said, whoa, time out. You're the healing healer, Lisa. And those words, it was like, first a bomb went off in my head, and then the shrapnel moved its way throughout my entire body, and I just started shaking. And she said, yeah,
giving me chills.
That.
Yeah.
The healing healer. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with leading while you're healing.
Oh, yeah.
There's that, which I think is a huge lesson for listeners to hear. And I don't care where you are in your life or what you're doing in your life. If you're a stay-at-home mom, guess what? If you're not good in who you are, you can't really be taking care of anybody else, right? If you're a CEO, guess what? If you're not really good in who you are, you can't be taking care of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So at any phase in our lives, we are healing healers.
Yeah.
Helping ourselves while helping others. That's the redefining moment, which I think is so beautiful that you are in the midst of it. I woke up maybe 3 months. It was probably about the 3-month mark after closing my studio. And I woke up and I went, holy shit, I'm rested. I didn't know I was tired.
Yeah.
Like, when did that happen?
Okay, that part.
My God.
That part. When you don't actually realize how exhausted you are until you stop and everything just like catches up. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that part. Yeah.
Well, then that's like confirmation. Wait a second, I got caught up in and lost in the doing, even though the doing and what was being produced is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And the reward on a daily basis is that dopamine hit feels amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not until we are either A, forced to stop, or B, choose to stop, that we go, wait a second. Was I so busy in the doing?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, how does an audience member, how does one of our listeners know the difference between, and it feels really good to be doing what I'm doing, I'm fully in purpose, this is so rewarding, versus the, I think it's time to redefine. I think it's time to reset my life.
Well, you mentioned either you are like forced to make the change or you choose to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's both and. I was thinking like, I think there's a option C there. I think it's both and, because when we're in that state of flow and everything is just clicking green lights, things are working, we can feel that. It feels expansive and it's still tiring. It's still exhaustive. Yesterday, I was just reaching out. I was talking to a team member about this upcoming event I'm doing, and I was showing her my old Airtable base that had all of the information, all of the emails, all the stats, all of the signups, every single link, all of everything. And I was like, oh my God. And I said to her, I'm like, this is why I stopped launching because it is so much work. And she's like, yeah, I feel overwhelmed looking at it. I'm like, on one hand, this was like the best way to keep everything straight. On the other hand, when you see it at a glance, you realize what went into it. And yes, it was successful. So yeah, you can feel that desire of wanting something to change while also feeling super in the flow and like things are working. And I think that it's like very individual. And I think it's a delicate balance between, really getting aligned and clear with what is it that you want. And right now, for everybody, you can redefine that. What is it that I want to be my legacy? How do I want to feel? And what are some of my core values? And these are actually some questions that I have written down literally in front of me to ask myself and to get really crystal clear on, because as I realized in the last few weeks is that one of my core values is impact. And I thought I was making an impact when I was at scale. And I think at some level, yeah, I am impacting, but I mean on a deeper sense. I want to feel it in my bones that I've impacted somebody's life. I want to see that light bulb moment for them. I want to see the tears. I want to feel that aha when they've let go of like a childhood of trauma that they've been holding onto in their body. And all of a sudden that deep exhale of a release that they've had that like, oh my God moment. That's the depth, like that depth of impact that I really am hungry for and wanting it. And so when I think about legacy, we can measure, okay, is what I'm doing right now, does it light me up? Do I feel fulfilled? Is it exciting? In my body, do I feel expansive? Does I feel that? Can I honor that? Or does it feel constrictive? Does it feel like something's got to change? Something's not quite right? Because I can tell you from my own experience, when things were humming along and I was making good money, I'm like, yes, but party on.
Can we hit pause just for a second?
And I would say that to my team. I would be waving the red flags to my team, like, this was all good. And like, we did such a good job, but like, I don't think this is going to work. And I still kept pushing. And so that was on me to realize there are signals here. There are signs. There is a feeling. There is a knowing, but I overrode it. And I think that's what we're so good at. We're so good at overriding our own needs in favor of listening to what other people tell us and outsourcing our power and outsourcing our plans and outsourcing our strategies. And if we're listening and we're being honest with ourselves, maybe we can make those changes before we completely go to a state of burnout and depletion, before we're forced to change.
I'll tell you, that's like one of my biggest goals with this podcast is to empower someone to recognize that their journey is their journey. And that's where all of the riches are experienced, and you can mine for those. But you first need to be able to recognize what is yours, what is somebody else's. And I spend a lot of my day when I'm with other people going, oh, okay, so we're going to categorize now. This is yours, this is mine. This is yours, this is mine. This is yours, not mine, not mine, not mine. And a lot of that in the clearing the cache, that's what I call it, the cache of bullshit, right? You have all this bullshit that just sort of piles up and you have to go, all right, at some point in time, I got to sift through all of this. How much of this is actually mine? And how much of this belongs to somebody else? And listener, here's a big tip. It's easiest to do that like real time. Real time. You're sitting there, you're talking with somebody and you start to feel like a little bit of a tingle in your shoulders or a buzzing in your head and you go, oh, wait a second. Is this mine? No, it's not. It's theirs. Good. Nice. Done. Moving on. And then you start to recognize what you just said. What lights me up? What makes me excited? What makes me calm? So it's this really neat, I love that you said, like, it comes down to what do I want to feel? And that gets to change in every single moment. What do I want to feel? So I love that you say that you're in this period of contraction and you're coming back into yourself. That doesn't make you smaller, sister. It doesn't. What it does is like really starts to hone your skill.
Yeah.
And makes you super, super powerful.
Thank you.
Laser fucking focused, which is so impactful.
Thank you. That's how I feel. I feel like I've taken off all this extraneous bullshit that was like, I don't know, I think falsely. I adopted it based on what other people thought was a good idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Sure. But I feel laser focused and I feel like when you see a kitchen remodel, the kitchen was like pretty functional.
I love a kitchen reno.
I know, right? We think of like, okay, well, like maybe where the fridge is and comparison where the stove is like doesn't really make sense for somebody who loves to cook or entertain. And so you reimagine like, how does it get better than this? How does it feel more flowy? How does it feel like luxurious and great and all this stuff? And you reimagine, what if we strip down all the walls? And then we can move the plumbing over here and there's this more room for another, like a bigger window over here, more natural lighting or however we can reimagine it. And I feel like that's exactly what I've been doing, which is just pulling everything down. I'm down to the studs and I feel more powerful and more potent. And I know I asked you about like the timing of this, like it's coming out at the beginning of the first of the year. Oh my gosh.
How perfect.
Oh my God. I feel so honored that this is the first episode of 2026. I feel like it's so divinely timed. As I say that, I get full body chills.
I have chills, full body chills.
because that's part of what I love doing at the beginning of the year, is helping people through my process of clearing out the karma, letting go of the old ways and really aligning to something new, something more powerful. What's the next version of you? And by the way, you're only human, so you're going to have natural resistance to your greatness
and a shit ton of fear.
And a shit ton of fear. What if this doesn't work? What if I spend all this time and money and energy on this rebrand or this reposition and like I fail? What does that mean about me and this process and all of that? Like, there's so many ifs. And so that's why I love hosting the Karmic Cleanse within a community setting where we're all doing it together. And this coming year, when I do this event, it's going to be a live event with multiple people on live stream processing this work, doing it together. And it's going to be better than ever. I cannot wait.
What can we expect? Karmic Cleanse. Ooh.
Yeah. So the Karmic Cleanse, I've been doing this. I want to say, this will be, I think it's my 9th year doing it. I'm not sure exactly. I have to look back and to get the exact details. I think it's my 9th year doing it. It started off one year. I was just doing it for myself in front of my fireplace after my kids had gone to sleep, or my baby had gone to sleep, I should say, because I only had one at the time. I have 2 now. And I was just doing, like, fuck it, I'll just put on Facebook Live and see if anybody's around town. And it turned out that like a ton of people actually were. And then they all started sharing it and it went super viral. And then the next year everyone's like, are you doing that event again? I'm like, yes.
Sure.
In fact, yes I am. Yep.
And are you expecting anything more than a Facebook Live?
Right.
Because that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So year after year, it kind of evolved. It got really big one year where there was over 10,000 people registered.
Wow.
And I was literally like in the fetal position about to go live. I wasn't doing that like Tony Robbins jump on the trampoline. I was like, ground all of the energy. Oh my God, my body is going into another state of elevation.
I'm just going to rock it out.
I'm okay, you're okay. And it keeps evolving. So for this 2026 Karma Cleanse, it always involves really reflection, like looking back at the previous year or even years before that. What is the shit that I need to really let go of? What's been bothering me? What's been giving me stress and anxiety and worry and contraction and the icky stuff? Like, what do I really want to let go of? Maybe some of the things that I want to forgive myself for doing or saying. And then what does that next level look like? How can I connect with my future self, my higher self? And what does my higher self want to share with me? How can I embody that now? What are some practices? What are some rituals that I can start to begin at the beginning of this year and then keep myself accountable to? That's not going to be super time consuming or expensive or whatever, but something that I can really commit to and open up this new portal of me to be fully embodied and visible and brilliant and expansive and magnetic and all of that. So this year for 2026, I am making it more of a virtual retreat feel versus like a one-off event. So we're going to do a lot of amazing practices within that container. And I think people should be feeling pretty light afterwards, pretty excited, pretty energized through that. And it's always like a fan favorite event. So I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, we're recording this previous to January, so I can only project the awesomeness that will come. But historically, it's like my favorite event of the year. Not to like boost it too much, but it is one of my favorite events of the year.
Well, this is so exciting. So I made a note of that because I have this email that's going out at the end of November, and it's sort of going to take us in through December with the audience. And that is prepare now for 2026. Like, let's not wake up January 1st going, oh shit, I want a brand new life. And let's take huge leaps and bounds. Because then I feel like when people set their sights on, I always call it the wedding cake. My daughter would know what I was talking about. You have this vision of a wedding cake. I'm going to bake a wedding cake. It's going to look so beautiful. It's going to look like every Instagram reel. And it's, and I know I can do it. I don't have pans. I don't have ingredients. I've never made a cupcake. And I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So I'm starting the end of November with the, hey, let's gather ingredients. And there's an email going out that talks about manifesting your best year in 2026. Starts now. So take a look at your body, your mind, your soul, your space, and then let's learn the skill of manifestation together.
Mm.
And then that takes us through December. And there are links for certain guests that have been on the show. Get over, listen to their episode, do exactly what they tell you to do, and then we're going to take you into the new year. I would be honored to share your karmic cleansing in part of this whole series of helping people just redefine who they are in 2026. I just have a feeling that this year coming up, we've had a lot of prep in 2025. I think 2026 is the year where we are like, here's the foundation. We've stripped it down to just the studs. Holy fucking, we are opening it all up. We're going to lay the plumbing. We're going to lay the electric. We're going to redesign the floor plan. And this is like, I find that to be so much fun. I love doing that stuff like that.
Yes.
So let's do that. I mean, how wonderful that your event is going to be right around the 1st of January.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll be sure to include that.
Thank you.
In this series to help listeners. And listener, we will have all the information in the show notes. By the time that this airs, we'll have all the details for the event as well. So we'll make sure that all of that is in the details. So just scroll down. I mean, wait till the end of the episode, but then scroll down and click on the links and get on over there and get into the karmic cleansing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so generous. And it made me feel very good when you were saying, laying down the electrical and the plumbing, like, I feel that so deeply. And I mean, I know we just met, but I would love to see how our communities can gather together. I feel like there's such synergy and,
Agreed.
We could do something really special with this or better. I mean, this is really exciting to sort of have this invitation and this connection. So thank you so much.
I think that would be so much fun. Thank you. Holy God. We're only a half an hour into this, listeners, and we're already like... This is the way our brains are working, though. They're firing off, and we're going to wind up creating something amazing. I love that. I have an episode with an improv actor, and the whole episode we just talked about yes, the magic of yes and. Which I think when you start stripping away all of the distraction in life to really hone in on who you are and why you're here right now.
Yeah.
And who you are and why you're here right now is different from an hour ago, a month ago, a year ago, different from an hour from now, a month from now, a year from now. So in this very now moment, I'm taking us back to our oracle card of pivot because that's exactly what I feel.
Yeah.
That we're in this moment of pivot. Can you elaborate on that? What are you feeling? What are you picking up on? Because everybody who we have here is an energy healer and a channeler. And I mean, and she takes people through their businesses to be able to marry purpose and profit and bring you into sort of your own healing journey, not just through your business, but also personally, and marrying those two selves together to create one. Is that the pivot point, do you think, that humanity is in?
I would love that. I would love that. I feel like we're in the midst of a spiritual crisis. We are being polarized and ripped apart and dehumanized. And I feel like the planet is calling humans to take action in a positive way and to remember love and remember what we can do to be better versions of ourselves. And I also understand deeply that with creativity and creating something special and new and vibrant, there's also destruction that has to happen.
Right.
We have
The
to
breakdown.
destroy. Yeah, there has to be that breakdown, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And
Yes.
we have to destroy maybe systems and things that didn't work or aren't working. And so I feel like we're in a bit of that process right now. And it's a lot. And especially for folks who are highly sensitive, who are listeners. And me too.
I mean, my head is continuously doing this. So, yep.
It can be so much. And I know there are some days for me, I do love social media for so many things, especially like puppy videos and like
and the
farm
babies.
animals. Like, yeah,
Right.
I love all that. But then I see other things that are just so toxic. And I just decided to take a little conscious break to like delete the app for a little bit and like not do like a big production of leaving it because nobody actually cares about if I'm on it or not. But like just protecting my peace. And I feel like as this sort of like polarizing stuff is happening, people are going to have to find a way back to their peace.
Yes.
They're going to have to find like, well, what's working for me? And, I was talking to my mom a couple weeks ago, and she is somebody who has very different beliefs than I do. I will just say that.
Even her.
She was saying how re-traumatizing things have been for her in terms of like death and rioting and all kinds of stuff that's happening on a global level. And I'm like, right. So like, also you need to turn things off sometimes and go outside. This is what I'm doing. Cause like, yes, that's all happening out there in the world, but like here in your life, here in your body. And we know that change starts with you. So, okay, so how can I protect my peace right now? How can I find my way back home? And it's a smaller version of what I've been spending the last couple of years doing, which is, okay, when things are feeling out of control and out of whack, what can I do? What can I control? I can go outside.
Yeah.
I can control my breath. I can let go. I can feel my body. Where am I holding on to this? Where does it live? Can I move it out? What is it that I'm craving? What is it I need in this moment to feel peace and to feel joy again? And insert that. Like, you're like, I love that metaphor of building a cake. Like, okay, let's get these ingredients. How do I find joy again? Where am I? Where is my peace?
Yeah.
And I really hope that's coming inward. And I hope that people will start to blend in more spiritual practices to come back home to themselves, to protect their peace and to create more safe spaces for more people, because really hurt people are going to hurt people, but healed people will heal people.
That's right.
So like, let's do our part. And if there's people who are on here who are coaches and healers and practitioners, like maybe you're not helping, 70 people today, but maybe if you can help one, can you just help one? And that ripple effect.
Just help yourself.
Help yourself. Yeah. It's like we can do so much positive in the world, even if it is just to us today, but maybe tomorrow will be a few more people. And who knows with that, the person you open the door for and you smile to them, maybe it shifted something really profound in them, and that ripple effect can just keep going. So yeah, I love to blend the energy and the strategy, and I love to be both and I'm feeling called to share something, so I guess I will. This pivot card, to come back to the pivot card, is that I've been feeling this calling since, I guess, June, around bringing more leadership and youth enrichment programs into my community. And teaching people, I have a backyard farm, so like teaching people about the earth and animals, and maybe bringing in arts into the equation, and maybe it'd be like job experience for kids. Like I have this imagination that's like, wow, we could really do something incredible here. And yet it kind of has nothing to do with my business. And so there is that little bit of a pivot. Like, yes, I could apply all of my skills to creating this center. For sure I can. But it's a pivot. It's not a direct line for what I've been working on for the last decade in my work. And yet there's this kind of calling that I can't ignore. And a few weeks ago, I had the stomach bug. My whole family, we all got hit at different days. And when I was starting to feel better, I started watching Netflix, watching Jane Goodall and Disney. I just started watching and crying and like, who am I? And they're like, look at this woman. She's 90 something years old, traveling 300 days a week. What the hell am I doing with my life? What is wrong? Right? She's out there changing the world. So I think that's like, and like everybody has the same response. They all touch their heart when you say Jane Goodall. They all touch their heart and they go, So I'd like to spend 2026 beginning to embody more of those Jane Goodall qualities as well. Something that I want to personally aspire to really listen and make a positive impact. There's that impact word again, just another level.
Mhm. So
I don't
have
even know what your
theme.
original question was, but I think I brought it around to pivot. I don't know. Did we do it?
So this is the glory of menopause. I don't know if you're in menopause. I'm in menopause.
I'm pre-menopause, but I don't know. Some days.
I have no idea where we started. I love that we ended up with Jane Goodall. I mean, it all makes me happy.
We're here. We're a little sweaty, and we did it.
One thing that I have been learning in this journey of the last 6 months. So this show is called Find Your Flow. It came from, that was the tagline for my studio. So the studio was called Nagare, which is Japanese for the flow of water.
Oh.
My company is called Nagare Life, so that you will find the flow through your life. And this show is called Find Your Flow because of what you just said. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you doesn't necessarily work for your mother. And yet, we're all feeling the exact same thing, which is, whoa, everything has gone off the rails. And I think it's so important that for us, in order for humanity and for the planet and to heal and to create peace, it has to come back to the individual. We have to figure out who we are and stop looking outward for validation and defining ourselves through everybody else. It has to contract. It has to come back to self. And through that practice, you start figuring out who you are. So it doesn't surprise me that you're sort of retreating into yourself to find, oh, I think I'm a farmer. I think I want to teach other people how to do different things. I think I want to bring in the arts. I think it's all an extension of you. So while you may not see the thread that connects it all, you're not supposed to. You're just supposed to recognize that you're the fulcrum from which these spikes, they just reach out from you. You're the center point, the spokes in the wheel. You're going to have energy worker and business development and kick-ass farmer. And now you're going to go help the chimpanzees and you're going to be a mother and do all these other different things. You're the commonality. So I love it when people are like, well, what's your brand and what are you going to do? Your brand is you. That's it. It's just you. It's why this show exists. I call it the buffet of healing. So we present all of these different options, and then it's up to the listener. What feels good to you? What feels right to you? Start for an hour a day. Drop into that. Listen to an episode that makes you feel better, and then act on the advice that the guest has to offer. What are you inspired to create with your life now? So you may not see it as making sense. And I'm like, you're damn right. That makes all the sense in the world, that you look outside your windows and go, man, I could see something bigger here. I could see inviting people here to learn and to grow. Of course you can. Because who are you? You are a person in your home learning and growing to become the better, bigger version of yourself. That's it. Just gets redefined. That's all. It's so exciting to me. I love that. So
good. Like, I love when podcast episodes become therapeutic. And
that's the goal. That is like literally the goal. We should all be getting something out of this.
We should.
Experience together.
And I love what you said is like, pick and choose the episodes that feel good for you. And I love that this is a project that was an extension of your in-person facility. This is another spoke for your wheel. Like, I love that, people can find their way here and not every single episode will resonate, but there's going to be some that do and that get you into motion and get you thinking differently and shift your mindset and start questioning some things. And I think that's the best thing that you can do. I mean, this isn't a vapid podcast. This is really, really exceptional. And it's my favorite thing to be able to guest or interview people where we go deeper than just the surface level stuff. And I'm loving this match vibrationally. And I'm sure that the episodes that preceded this have so much value in them too. And I think it says a lot about you, but it also says a lot about your listeners. The people who are here aren't here for that bullshit, like, call her daddy stuff. They're really,
they want more.
They want more. So kudos to all the listeners and shout out to everybody who's still listening right now and hungry for a shift and a transformation. So
amen.
It's good.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you that us is sitting here, the guest, the host, we get to receive, every listener gets to receive, and that truly sparks something joyous, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to walk out of the studio here, and the next person, I have to run to Target. I've got to go get tissues. We're out. I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to pick up tissues, and I'm going to be so happy. So, yeah, I'm going to smile at everybody that I wander past. And it is my personal theory that in that act of joyous exchange, in love exchange, in just the briefest of moments, that can shift everything. On a blink, it can shift everything. And that person smiles and they go on and they smile at somebody else and they smile at somebody else. I used to say that I would watch it from the windows in my studio. I'd watch a client come in pain. I'd watch them leave an hour later free and joyful, and they're no longer looking down and making sure they don't fall. They're looking up, they're looking out, they're seeing people across the street, they're walking past somebody, they say hello. That other person is now passing them, walking down the street, joyful, saying hello to the next person. And in that moment, I went, this is my purpose, to be the change, right? To be that first ripple, to be, what is it? They put the stone in the pond, whatever. As long as I'm that whisper that allows for other people to hear and to share, I know that that's my purpose. So like when I closed the studio, my mother was like, she was very upset. She was like, but Lisa, you have such a blessing. You have such a skill and you really help people. And I said, I know. It just needs to change.
Yeah. Sometimes you
And
just
she was
outgrow
like-
it. That's it.
And yeah, I didn't outgrow the methodology. I still have a machine downstairs. I love it. I love the practice.
Yeah.
But how I interact with people is different.
Yeah.
And it took 2 years of contraction and redefining in order to then come out of this little cocoon of mine to be something different. And that.
And what you're saying, it's hard for other people to understand that internal feeling, that internal calling, that voice that you said, it drove you to make that change. And you knew it was right for you, even though maybe on the outside it doesn't make sense to anybody else.
So confusing, so scary.
Yeah. How did your mom respond to it? She was like trying to convince you to keep it open.
She was so sad.
Yeah.
My niece, I get phone calls. Will you come over? Will you help me? Sure, I will come over. I will help you. What's going on? I just don't work with individual clients anymore.
Yeah.
And every client was upset. Everybody, we were in a small town, so everybody knew there's only one gyrotonic lady in town.
Sure.
And they were all like, why are you closing? You're so successful. Why are you closing? And I lied and said it was the rent. The rent was increasing. But that had no bearing whatsoever. The truth of the matter was, and I told people who would understand it and who could hear it, was that it was a calling. And for me, I live in a state of, I don't want to be sidelined in my life. I've been there. I've done that. I've done the healing part of it. I don't appreciate it. If I had listened to that inner voice much earlier, I wouldn't have gone through a whole lot of that I've gone through.
Sure.
Some of us have to learn the hard ways.
Yep.
Most of us have to learn the hard ways in order to get to a point where you're a little bit more wise. But it was just a voice. I do as I'm told. I do as I'm guided. And that is in every moment of my life. If I come up against like some sort of wall and resistance, I go, oh, that's because I'm trying to force something and I'm not allowing. Like it's my job to put up boundaries so that flow is easier, but it is not my job to say where I'm going to flow to. I just follow. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I've been relearning how to do that. I think because
It's hard.
I got myself so out of whack that I wasn't trusting my instincts like I previously did. And so for the last 8 months, I'm basically telling my spirit team, listen, you have to push me whichever direction I'm supposed to go. I will not
Make
move.
it crystal fucking clear, please, and thank you.
I will not move unless it's a hell fucking yes.
Yes.
And then and you'll still have to push me. I'm going to just do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Even offering, I had opened up my mentorship program, which I hadn't done in quite a while. I was pushed to do that. And I was like, fine, I will offer it, but I'm not launching the way I did. I'm going to just use my energetic vibration, the end of story. And if people come, they come, and I'll host it. But I'm not doing that whole thing. I don't want a sales page. I don't want all this mess. I just want it to be
Right.
easy and fun and attract the right people that I love spending time with. And then that happened. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just keep that up. Let's just keep redefining that flow. And I love that. Like, I'm not going to pick the direction. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to take the assignment day by day. I love that.
I figure I'm like the bowling ball, and then the rails come up to make sure that I at least stay in the lane.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go wherever it's going to go.
I love that.
It's so funny. I have a girlfriend, and she says the same thing. She's like, you know what, Spirit Team? I am lazy. I am tired. You're just going to have to do the heavy lifting. You tell me when and where, and I will show up. But other than that.
Yeah. And that's my biggest problem, is that I am a manifesting generator. So like, I love to do.
Me too. No surprise.
Great. I love doing 9,000 tasks. I fucking love it. Like, yes, I have all this energy and I will get it all done. And everyone goes, are you an Energizer Bunny? I go, yes, I am.
Yes.
And then
Until I'm not.
So like, listen, I can do all that, but like, I'm not going to do it until I'm really moved and really feel that energetic rush. So that's a practice.
That's a huge distinction. And a rule of thumb that I actually live by. There are a lot of things I can do.
Yeah.
There are a shit ton of things I'd be really good at,
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
But there are finite number of things I'm meant to do.
Yes.
And those are the things, like you said, that light me up, that make me feel really good. I no longer seek excited. I seek curious. I seek exploration. I seek joy and a feeling of carefree instead of hunting excitement. What makes me excited? That feels exciting, right? I no longer search for that anymore.
I love that.
My definition has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. We just shift and evolve and we grow. And I think the scary part as business owners is that we're doing it on like a public platform in front of other people. So as you're evolving and going, wow, I think that I'm not feeling this studio anymore. There's another calling. I'm having to give answers to people who are asking like a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I have to respond somehow. And maybe it's not as honest and forthright, but it's the best that you can do at the time. Exactly. Until then you can reveal it later. Because sometimes when we're in it, it's like too much. Like, I am holding myself together. I can't hold you too. So.
Oh my God, I love that. Right? Again, that's yours, not mine. And I'm certainly not taking that on for you.
Yep.
It was really interesting. I guess like maybe a week ago, I had a call with a young girl who's getting ready to graduate college. And she had listened to, and I never do this, but for some reason I said yes. She had listened to an episode on fashion maneuvers, and she was fascinated by it, and then did this deep dive into all of these different exercises and studying with the human garage and all of these different things. And she DM'd me. What are my kids would say, slipped into my DMs or something.
Yeah, totally.
She slid into my DMs. And she asked me if she could have a call with me. And I said, yes, sure. Let's have a call. And studio owner showed up for that call because she needed to be able to talk to the woman who had been there and done that. How do I get to, as the next generation, how do I get to do this? How if it has nothing to do with my college major, how do I transition into this? And it was this amazing conversation from the mindset of being able to look back.
Yeah.
Which I think is a wealth of knowledge.
So good. It's so good.
And to be able to give that cautionary, don't lose yourself here, don't lose yourself there, make sure you stay on track with this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, well, holy shit, wow. Like if that's who I am now, if that's what Gyrotonic Lisa gets to do, that's pretty cool too. That's pretty awesome.
It is. I never had mentors when I had a brick and mortar. It was just like figure it out one day at a time and wing it. And I was in partnership with started with 4 other three other people, including me, so four people total. One person ended up dropping off, and then me and two others. And I was younger than everybody by over a decade. And yet I was the one who wrote the business plan and came up with the strategy and was doing all the marketing. It was like guerrilla marketing and old school stuff, you know, things we did before social media. And yet when I look back, I have a client right now that I'm mentoring, and she is doing those kinds of questions like, how do I ABC? And, you know, I'm also there giving her the love and support that I wish someone had given me, which is like, you know what, you're doing actually really great. And, you know, she's like 30 years old and just starting to try to get out of her corporate career. And she's going for dual citizenship so she can live abroad. And like, it's just a different lifestyle. And I'm like, you're not the majority of people. You're the minority of people who seek some adventure and not to live in this mediocrity. And I mean, you're just doing awesome. And here's some ways to simplify what you're doing. And I love being able to mentor. I hear what you're saying is like putting on those hats of our old self and giving the advice in that, like having that hindsight and going, here's what it might look like, but here's to watch out for. I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
What a gift.
It is.
Oh my
and
God,
it feels good doing that too. As long as it's not like in large amounts, but like in small quantities. Being able to support somebody and give them that little leg up is so wonderful. A way that like you and I never got somebody to be there for us.
I remember when I first started out, I was the youngest in like a tri-state area.
Yeah.
There were only a handful of gyrotonic people. Wow. And I was the youngest. And their advice was cap your prices at this and do this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, whoa, yeah, none of that feels good. I mean, at all. Who is stretching the boundaries? Who is trying to marry this with another modality? Who's trying to make it even bigger? Like, please don't tell me how to stay small, because I am like, that'll make me insane.
Yes. And that is the trouble with brick and mortar healing facilities is that we've been passed down generationally, these sort of broke models of running a business and keeping small. And I mean, God knows how many centuries this goes back to of hiding your gifts and, you know, just keep hiding, just keep on hiding. Like, and yeah, if you're the outlier who's like, absolutely not, I'm not doing that. And that's really the end of my partnership, was because I had a huge vision for this organization and they had a very small, limited version. And it ended really nasty and abruptly. But I will say, I learned a lot. And, you know, you can't be in partnership with people who don't have the same vision as you either. So lesson learned.
That's another part of the evolution, which is so incredible. Make sure that you have people who align with who you are right here, right now.
Amen.
And that goes with everything in business and in personal. Make sure that everybody in your life is aligned with who you want to be in this moment. And then reach out to those that can help you become the person you want to be.
Yes.
And that's incredible. And I mean, we're coming up here on an hour, she says, as she squints to look at a clock. So I want to make sure that I leave enough time here, because you have a YouTube channel where you post and you talk with people who subscribe and follow, in which you have a lot of golden nuggets in there for people to mine for. So can you please tell us a bit about your YouTube channel and how are you showing up for people? We know about the event in the new year, which everybody, again, scroll down, click on that link. And there are links to your social media and to your YouTube. I love your YouTube channel. Can you please share that with listeners?
Thank you, Lisa. The channel is Emily Aarons. So if you search my name in YouTube, you should pop up to see me. There is a blend of beautiful energy healing meditations in there that you can try different ones if you're wanting to do a little bit of energy healing. They are specific for founders, leaders, entrepreneurs. So there is a little bit of that tie of shifting your energy to get back into your intuition and grow your business. So you'll hear that difference. It's not just mindfulness, like blank slate kind of meditation. It's very different guided journeys.
Love that.
In addition, I do live content, usually every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, where I am channeling, I'm pulling cards, I'm doing coaching, maybe a live workshop. every single Thursday. I just love to interact with folks, and we have a pretty good time doing it. And then I also create videos that are blending, learning about both sides of the coin, the energetic side of it. How does this particular block show up in my business? How do I grow my business? Answering questions for folks who are starting their own spiritual business or scaling it to a place that feels really good. So we're blending that purpose with the profit with basically every single piece of content that I'm making. So I'm supporting female founders, high achievers, leaders, highly sensitive folks, primarily women, although my stats do show that some men do hang out and watch my videos. I don't know who
God
they
bless
are.
them.
Yeah, good for them. But it is mostly a community full of women who are kind of like us. So thank you for mentioning it.
When I find things, I share it with my husband, and 99% of the time I go, listen, this is geared towards women. Just ignore that. Take out the W and the O and just take a look at your feminine divine and see how much work you could be using in your life.
Yeah, it works.
It's just a different approach, which I absolutely love. And I love that your focus is on women for a couple of reasons. One, I think women are changing this world. I really do.
Agreed.
I think we're all by all, I mean men and women and gender fluid. I think every human on this planet is trying to figure out this balance of feminine and masculine. And I don't mean that by gender specific and your sex. I mean it by energies.
For sure.
We are watching the energies change in front of us every single moment of every single day. It's why the news is the news right now. You can walk down the street and actually see this conflict in action. But if you are the one who knows what is happening, you know that there's this little bit of tug of war that's going on, this melding to try and figure out this new combined divine energy. Take the masculine, take the feminine, combine it, create the divine. That's not me talking, by the way.
I heard
that's
that.
Channeled, right? If we're the ones who recognize divine energy and the divinity in each and every one of us, you can walk down the street and just radiate that outward and everything starts to change. So listeners, you know how I love homework. I'm going to assign just a little bit of homework, and that is do yourself a favor, do an experiment. Take a nice deep breath before you leave your house. Make a decision, state it out loud. I am going to walk down the street and I'm going to radiate love. You've now set the energy to be able to do that. Go walk down the street and feel how different that experience is. You will notice people suddenly, it's like the road was made for Lisa. People will part. They will look at you more often. You will most likely never have to dodge a person as you're walking down the street. It just seems to flow. So there is our homework for this episode. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to give you the close, lady. So is there anything you would like to share? Anything that comes to you, comes through you, whatever.
I think that the only thing that's coming through is gratitude. Thank you for holding this space. It's come at a perfect time for me to record and to connect with you and share these insights. I want to especially thank the listeners. If you're still here listening to us, it means the world to us podcasters. I have done thousands of podcasts, and I will tell you what, though people who stay to the end are our favorite people ever.
They really are.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you mean it. You are here for keeps, and we have just become best friends. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And my special request for all the listeners, if you listen on iTunes or in Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcast, would you please leave Lisa a 5-star review and just tell her how much you love this episode or this podcast, because it does give us so much back when we're having those moments where we're like, should I keep doing this podcast? Those reviews keep us going, and we keep telling you, hey, we love you. We're going to keep making more. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Lisa, for hosting me, and just keep paying it forward. Keep sharing this podcast far and wide.
Perfect words to end on. Emily, thank you for joining me here on Find Your Flow. Until next time, everyone. Okay, that's it, listener. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set your notifications to never miss an episode. If you'd like even more with me, come on over to nagarelife.com. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, go on and share it. Share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it as well. All right. I'll see you next time.